I feel like I have a blank face when I start recording. Okay. Hello, team. Hey, it's Tuesday. We're here for our weekly team call. And today we are going to talk about ProBio 5, and then we're each going to share a win for the week. And then Shauna has a thought I'd love for her to share with you guys at the end for everybody. So I found a really great post on ProBio 5, and I want to talk about it because it's so unique from every probiotic out there on the market that I've used a bunch. I'm sure you guys have too, from Whole Foods, from Costco, from wherever. We all know we're supposed to take a good probiotic, and that's kind of always the thing. What do we take? I actually took a picture the other day when I was in Mendocino at the grocery store, because there was an entire refrigerator at this health food store with like probiotics, and it's like there's like 200 to choose from. Like there's no what you should take, how you should take it, how you should feel. There's just billions. And then everything's like 2 billion, 7 billion, 20 billion. And it's just so overwhelming. And I love just being with a supplement company that kind of has it tailored down to this is what works and why. So a quote that I saw that I thought was hilarious, it said, taking ProBio 5 but not BioCleanse, because they work together, right, is like scrubbing the toilet and forgetting to flush. And that's so true, right? Every time we take ProBio 5, we are scrubbing our toilet. And so when we take those juice cleanses, those juice fasts, I'm sure most of us have done a lot of those. I have definitely done several Costco juice cleanses. And we do that because we know it makes us feel better, because we know that we're cleansing our body from all this crap inside, basically. And reasons of why we're kind of feeling off and hoping it'll stick long term, but it doesn't. And this is something that's very simple, and every day we're scrubbing our toilets. So ProBio 5 addresses the biggest root cause of poor health, which is gut health and fungus overgrowth. And it deals with this problem by attacking it from two different angles. So number one, it kills the fungus, and two, it brings in more probiotics and healthy bacteria. So how does it do this? One of the most amazing properties about this is that it's a probiotic and an antifungal. And so most of the time you'd have to buy separate products to do that. So first, it has 5 hardy strains of probiotics. And 5 is because hardy strains do not need to be refrigerated. So most people say, do I have to refrigerate this? I was really bad at taking probiotics before because they were in my fridge next to my butter. And I would forget to open the fridge and go pull one out every single day, plus my vitamins in the other cabinet. It just didn't work. And then traveling, you're like, how can I bring it when I'm traveling or when I go somewhere tropical, because it has to stay in the fridge. So these do not need to be refrigerated, and they also survive stomach acids. So a lot of them, it says if your probiotic needs to be refrigerated, it's a sign that the strain is very fragile and probably a waste of your money. And we learned that a lot of those refrigerated ones start to break down when it hits moisture. So when it hits your mouth moisture, it starts to break down, and then it breaks down the whole way here. And by the time it gets down here, most of it's gone. And ours is like a slow release, and it releases mostly when you get to the gut. And it also has an enzyme blend in it, and that's where the antifungal comes in. So it says that Candida and fungus cells are very difficult to kill because they contain an exoskeleton called chitin, and it's the same substance, this is gross, that a roach's crunchy shell is made of, and that's in our bodies. So the hard outer shell is almost impossible to penetrate, and therefore Candida is very hard to kill, except for a few strains of enzymes that are capable of it. And they are contained in our ProBio 5, and it actually breaks down the outer shell and breaks it down. So we want this because we want to permanently kill off the excess Candida yeast. We don't just want like semi-dormant and like going to sleep. We want it dead. And we want it dead, and then we want to flush it out. And that over time, that circulation is what keeps our gut microbiome to that like still water. I have a friend, Audra, who did a really great video, and it's all that bubbly yeast, and it goes to a still water in our guts, and that's what we're looking for. And that's how we start to feel healthy, because that's when our body can start to thrive and we can feel better. So then on the other hand side of that, I wanted to talk about how we adjust. So when we start people, we usually start people with one ProBio 5. BioCleanse is separate, and we'll talk about that another time. That's dependent on your digestive habits currently in your system. We usually start you with one ProBio 5, and then we typically, within 5 days in a week, go to 2, go to 3, go to 4, back to 3, back to 2. And that is because over the first month, we really want to focus on tackling that yeast and making you feel better faster. That also can increase die-off. You can have more symptoms then because you're breaking down and really removing toxins, but we don't want this to drag out super long. And then you'll get back down to 2. And then the way that you're going to adjust it at that point is based on how you feel. For some people, 2 is fantastic for keeping their cravings at bay, their bloating at bay, energy, all of this. Some people are good at 3 and some people stay at 4. And that is very individual and that can change over time. For me, a long time, for like 4 months, I had no sugar cravings at 2. But if you think about holidays and all of that, when you start having your yeast and you just like sprinkle a little sugar and then here comes Thanksgiving, sprinkle some more sugar. Here comes Christmas. We'll just dump like a cup of sugar on at Christmas because that's Christmas, right? All those sugar cookies, all that pie, all that stuff. You're going to froth up and go again. And you're going to need to attack it and go way down again. So a lot of times during the holidays, you'll want to go to 3 or 4. Or if you feel yourself having a good amount of control over your body at those different levels, that's where you want to stay. And if you drop back down too low and you feel all those symptoms coming back, it's not because it's not working, it's because your body needs more to stay in balance. And so you'll learn over time how to self-regulate. And that's one of the beautiful things. We are here to help you regulate, but also you can self-regulate. And that's something that we want you to learn to have control over as we do this long term. And so anyways, does anyone have any questions on regulation or how you're supposed to feel? Any questions on roach shells in your body and why we don't want them?
Oh my goodness, you're cracking me up.
Okay, we don't want this stuff, right? There's a very small amount of these things that are supposed to be in our body to help with our body when we die, but because of our diet and because of life and hormones and all of that, most of us have an excess of this, and that's what causes so many symptoms that people are struggling with their health. Anyways, okay, so that's our ProBio 5 for today. Oh yes, Mel.
Quick question. So the BioCleanse, just so everyone else knows, usually kind of goes up 1 with that. So if they, over the holidays, they go to 3, you'd probably want to go up to 4 or 5 with your BioCleanse, right?
Yes, and that's because ProBio 5 can slow down your digestive system. And on top of that, you do not want to break down more yeast and not get it out. So if you imagine a dirty toilet, when guests come over, you don't want to scrub it and walk away, right? And then if it gets more bacteria, you don't just scrub it and leave it, scrub it and leave it. It just gets murkier and murkier and murkier. So yeah, as you go up, you want to go up together and really make sure your digestive system is staying on track as we're breaking down more toxins. Great point. Thank you. Okay, so let's share some wins for the week. I can go first. Let me think. I didn't think about this before. Shauna, you go first, then I'll go next.
Okay, win for the week. I would have to say that I'll share a win for the week of someone on my team that wasn't able to make the call. She's been on the products for a few weeks and has her energy is up and she's actually shed a few pounds already. So, and she wanted to share that with friends. So she started sharing. So she was so excited.
I love that.
My win.
Okay, so Brooke did a challenge with me. I'll go do mine really quick. She did a challenge. Well, she did a challenge, and I'm one of those people that if someone does a challenge, I'm like, oh yeah, me too, even though I don't think it through. It's not really the smartest idea. And Brooke is a fitness instructor. I am not. So she said she did a handstand for a little over a minute, and who wants to do it with her? And I was like, sure. Well, I'm just learning to do a wall handstand in the first place. This is something that my kids watch me do at night, and they all just sit and go, oh, Mom, your feet almost touched the wall. Oh, Mom, you didn't make it that time. Like, it's hysterical. And I'm like, everybody be quiet. Let me focus. Or they'll be like, oh, Mom, you fell over really fast. So I have my my somewhat cheerleading team. So it usually takes me like 1 to 15 times to even get up on the wall to begin with, and then Ronan sets his timer. So Brooke did like 1:05. So my first time earlier this week, I did 58 seconds, and then I literally, like, my arms were burning and I fell over. And then she posted again last night and said, I did a big workout and then I did it. And I thought, well, I didn't work out, so maybe that'll be my 10-second workout. So again, like a solid 5 minutes of trying to get into the handstand against the wall in the first place, but I held it for 1:02. Her goal is 3 minutes, but that means I beat my last time by 4 or 5 seconds. So that was my win. It felt pretty good. It's incredibly difficult.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It sounds very simple. So that's mine.
On that. Is that Dana that's on the 317 number?
Hi. Yes.
Hi.
Hi. Do you have a win that you want to share? It wouldn't have to necessarily be this particular week or over the past couple of weeks. I think your wedding dress story is a pretty awesome win to share.
That's, probably the highlight. We had our wedding back on November 3rd, and then our photographer asked us to come, my husband and I, to be models for their new, like, people underneath them. So anyway, my dress, which was already, too small when I had it, and so I had to have it let out a little bit for the wedding, and it was pretty snug, but I ended up having to put like 22 safety pins in it and pretending like I was a seamstress, and it was just like huge. So that was a massive win for me. I've lost over 20 pounds since April being on Plexus without working out, and I'm only 5'2". Like, I didn't have a lot of weight to lose, so it was huge win for me.
That is so awesome, Dana. You looked beautiful in those photos.
Is this the one with the dress in the rain? That was incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Thank you. It was awesome. It was really fun.
It's a great feeling. My friend had a win that she wanted to share. She said, and I loved it. Okay, she said, win for the week. Went to the nail salon with my dad she was in the call last week. On Saturday at 8:30 a.m. for a polish change, wore my workout clothes and brought headphones, jogged back to my parents' house instead of driving back, and then did a quick arms workout. By 10 a.m. I was done and didn't have to think about working out for the rest of the day. So I love that she did that because she just incorporated exercise into something fun. And she just kind of pushed herself. You know how people will say, like, I parked at the other end of the parking lot and not close to the store just to get in extra steps that day. This is like a bigger version of that, and I'm just really proud of her because it's a great way to keep it in your day already, right? If you're going to do something, it's these little things that add up over time. She could have just driven home with her dad. That would have been easier, but she just did this, and that was great. Mel, did we do you?
No, I'll go. So mine probably is with the help of Shauna. Elaine is my level 1, and she signed someone up, and I was in Kings Island and busy, and Shauna was able to get her going and signed up and move forward. And then I have one other person that's asking questions about the ambassador fee and has started products but hasn't crossed over yet from a customer. So fingers crossed she jumps in.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that's exciting. I mean, I think that that's what's so awesome about our team is we're here to support each other and, not feel like we're in this alone. And I think that will just kind of segue into what I wanted to share today is that when each of us do get to the point that, like, we're feeling awesome and energy and, like, losing weight, and we see all these testimonies that are helping people, that we're, like, ready to start telling people about it, that we just remember that we have each other to, support each other to help with that. And actually, I was speaking with Dana earlier. I'm going to go ahead and put you on the spot, Dana. But we were speaking about that exactly, like, that being excited to share, but then, like, oh my gosh, feeling like I have to know everything to be able to tell people. And I think the biggest thing when each of us started to, tell our stories and everything, that we knew that we didn't necessarily have to say everything right at that point. We could just ask somebody, like, if you're not connected to them on Facebook, like, hey, are you connected on Facebook? Would it be okay if I sent you a video later? Or even if they're like asking further questions and you feel like you're kind of stumbling over the ingredients or not really sure, but that it reduces inflammation, and it helps balance blood sugars, and it helps with gut health. But that's like as much as you can tell them in that moment. It's okay to say something like, hey, is it okay if I connect you with my friend Shauna or Melanie or Julia or whomever, and say, they've been taking the products much longer than I have, and they could certainly help with like all the nitty-gritty details and ingredients and, what products might be appropriate for you. And just ask, is that okay if I just, introduce you into like a three-way message on Facebook? And then from there, we can help and find out, what their goals are or what their challenges are, and then help to kind of guide and explain the different products that might be appropriate for them. So I think, just like what Mel was saying, she was out of town and she had somebody that wanted to sign up. Like, that's what we're here for. We're all here to help support each other and, help people get the information that they're needing, and go from there. So I don't know if any of you guys want to add to that, because we all were kind of at that place of like, I want to share, but I don't know how, and I might say too much or I might not say enough. So I don't know. You can even share your experience with that a little bit, Mel, if you wanted to.
I felt really green early on because I didn't know anything, and you do feel like when you do a three-way message, you can tell they have your back. And there are times when I'm like, I don't know what to say, and then one of you would respond in the group message of how to, what to do. Or I would send a message and copy and paste it, or like prepare a message, send it to Shauna and say, does this sound okay? And she would add feedback and say, yeah, but you might want to say this instead. So yes, definitely a big support. And I think the community that's created, it's like you were saying at the grocery store, for seeing all these probiotics and you're just on your own. I think the support not only in products, but also cheerleading someone on, supporting them when they need help, whether it be trying to share with other people or just, successes personal for losing weight or whatever your goals are.
Yeah, that's great. Because, I would have to back up Julia on that as well, is that not everybody is the same and not everybody's digestion is the same. And so having us to consult with and, collaborate with on the probiotics and the dosing and BioCleanse and everything, it's just really helpful to have that support and the background of people that have gone through it before and be able to help through that.
Yeah, and above that, just understand that, I am a photographer and Shauna has studied functional medicine. So you're going to get people from all walks of life. I don't know what I know because I'm a nurse, right? And that I understand science. I know what I know because I've studied this product and because I've followed the person above me and I've watched what they've done, and you see the same patterns all over again. So that's kind of one of those things that a lot of our knowledge comes from one studying. So studying about the product, two, studying the business and learning how it works, how to do it in a very natural, non-salesy way, and learning from people and patterns. And there's always a pattern, and it's a very predictable pattern for many things, and for some it's not. And the beauty of the community is that when you have no idea what the answer is, at any point you can find an answer. So you can either reach out to somebody, you can reach out to the community, you can reach out to a bigger group, you can search on Facebook, and you can find people answers and consult with loads of people. And everybody is willing to help and share. This isn't like a fend for yourself type business at all. If I've had people come to me that I don't know asking me what my kids take, what I take, and I've gone to people, I have no idea who they are, and say, hey, you have no gallbladder, you have this. What are you taking and how did it work? So I can help somebody else. So there's ways to understand almost every health thing out there and to find an answer. And if you don't know the answer, we'll help you, or we'll help you learn how to find the answer. And so that's kind of one of the other fantastic things is you don't need to be the most knowledgeable person. And the funny thing is, there was a joke with Brooke that she says, you do this often enough and you'll sound like me. And I thought, there's no way. I mean, she is just smooth. She's got this down. She knows what she's saying. But we're repeating the same things daily. We're repeating the same products. We're repeating the same gut health. We're seeing the similar symptoms. And as you say it, and as you say it confidently, and just say what you know, and it doesn't have to be in depth. Let the videos help you. Let other people help you, and you don't have to over explain anything. I think that's where it gets complicated, where you're like, I don't know all that stuff. You don't have to know it. You can send a video, and the video says everything. There's a 2-minute triplex video that says all the basics, and if they want to learn more, we can give them more. So I think my biggest thing would just be to keep it simple, to don't feel like you have to over explain like gut health and antifungals and chitinase like in the first 3 minutes of talking to somebody. All you have to say is, hey, there's a great video. Can I send it to you later tonight? That's it. Hey, this is really important. I see you have this. I think I have something that can help, and it helps with what you're struggling with. Can I send you a short video? Like, keep it super simple, and they either say, sure, I'd love to learn more, or no, thank you. That's it. It does not have to be complicated, and then it makes you more confident, and it just makes the whole system easier. So, yeah, does anyone have any comments on that? I don't think so. We're glad you guys came here today. I love hearing your successes because some are big and some are small, right? Mine's something I did in my home. Shauna's is something she did that happened to one of her friends. Like Dana's wasn't a today success. Dana's was like a period of time and consistency that has built up to this success. And a lot of these times, like, she didn't think when she started, I bet I can fit into that dress. And she probably, like she's saying, didn't even think when I put on the dress that I would fit into the dress. But it's these like surprise celebrations that I think are the biggest joy of Plexus, it's a lot of reflection. Like, wow, I didn't yell at anybody today. Or wow, the last week I've had fantastic sleep. And those things need to be celebrated, and those things need to be shared, because there are people in your life that don't know what it's like to have a good week of sleep. There's people in your life that think there's absolutely no way I would ever fit into my old wedding dress. Or people that think, I'm a photographer. How could I ever help one of my friends lose 20 pounds? I don't know what I'm doing. But you have a tool and you have us. And so if you use those, you have a phenomenal ability to help people get to something that they didn't think was possible, or was only possible with medication, or was only possible with a completely strict diet, and all of these other things. And this is a very simple and effective product and company. And that's why we love it, because it's not super complicated. So even people that are photographers and graphic designers can share it. And Shauna's got both, so.
There you go. Oh, goodness.
Anyways, we hope you guys have a great week. We're so glad you were here. And next week, does anyone have anything they want to hit next? Any suggestions?
Any requests on a product that you want to learn more on or understand more?
Or a topic. It doesn't have to be a product. It can be water. It can be poop.
Oh, goodness.
It can be anything. Like tools to help you relax and go to sleep. We can talk about mindset, simple tools for that, anything. So if you have something and you can't think of anything now, you can DM us or message us, and we'll add it to our queue. But we'd love to make sure that you guys are getting valuable information that's helpful, and that you know that we support you and we love you and we're grateful to have you here.
Thanks, Julia.
Have a good night. See you guys next week.
Bye.